The night was unusually clear as the myriad stars competed for dominance in the sprawling velvet sky. In the outskirts of Crestview, a small town veiled in the obscurity of forgotten places, the only sounds disturbing the quiet were the intermittent chirps of crickets and the soft rustle of wind through the leaves. However, tonight, the tranquility was interrupted by an anomaly, a faint glow descending rapidly from the heavens. David Ellis, an amateur astronomer with a penchant for stargazing, was the first to notice the oddity through his telescope. His curiosity piqued as the object, glowing an eerie blue, began its descent not far from his backyard. Clad in his worn flannel robe, David hurried outside, telescope forgotten, as he tried to pinpoint where the light would touch down. The object, now recognizable as a small craft, landed softly in the clearing of the nearby woods. David approached cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. As he neared, the hatch of the craft hissed open, and from it emerged a figure, slender and tall, with skin that shimmered like the night sky. "Please, do not be afraid," the figure spoke, her voice melodious yet filled with a palpable urgency. She stepped forward into the moonlight, revealing features that were human-like yet undeniably alien. Her eyes, large and luminous, reflected a mosaic of stars. "I mean you no harm," she continued, her hands raised in a universal gesture of peace. David, though initially startled, found his voice. "Who are you? What brings you here?" "My name is Lyra," she replied, her gaze locking with his. "I come from a planet you know as Exion. I am here because I have nowhere else to go. My planet is dying, and I am seeking refuge." David listened, his initial fear giving way to intrigue and a burgeoning sense of responsibility. "Why come to Earth? And why me?" Lyra's lips curved into a wistful smile. "Earth is known across the galaxies for its kindness and resilience. And as for you, David, I did not choose you because of who you are, but because of where you are. Your planet's authorities are too guarded, but you, an individual, might listen, might understand. And you want to stay here? As what? Why should I trust you?" David's questions tumbled out, each coated with a mix of skepticism and wonder. "As your servant," Lyra said simply, her eyes earnest. "I can offer knowledge from my world, technologies and insights beyond your current understanding. In exchange, all I seek is sanctuary." David pondered her offer. It was an incredible proposition. A real-life alien stood before him offering a trade of knowledge for refuge. It was something out of the pages of the sci-fi books he devoured. "How can I be sure this isn't some trick? An invasion?" he asked, the cautious part of him needing reassurance. Lyra nodded, expecting this. "I am alone, David. My arrival was not sanctioned by my people. It was an act of desperation. I can show you my ship, my technology. All harmless, but advanced. Let me prove my goodwill." David considered her words under the silver wash of moonlight. The universe had presented him with a choice, one that could alter his life forever. After a moment, he extended his hand, decision made. "All right, Lyra, I'll give you a chance. Let's see what you can show me. But remember, any sign of betrayal, and this ends." Lyra took his hand, her relief palpable. "Thank you, David. You won't regret this." As they walked towards the small craft nestled among the trees, David couldn't help but feel that this was the beginning of something extraordinary, or the start of something overwhelming. Either way, his life as he knew it had changed forever. Lyra led David into the heart of her spacecraft, a compact vessel that was more a life pod than a ship, built for one. Its interior hummed with a low, soothing vibration, lights blinking in soft blues and greens along the walls. David was awestruck by the alien technology that surrounded him, each piece of equipment sleek and enigmatic. "Here, let me show you something truly remarkable," Lyra said, gesturing towards a small console. She tapped a sequence of symbols that glowed under her fingertips, and suddenly, the air between them shimmered, forming a holographic display of a galaxy far removed from the Milky Way. "This is Exion, my home," she explained, pointing to a star that pulsated softly at the edge of the hologram. "Or what's left of it. Our sun began to collapse prematurely, devouring everything in its reach. David peered into the hologram, his face reflecting the starlight. "It's beautiful," he murmured, "and tragic. Yes, and it's why I'm here, to ensure my knowledge isn't lost with it." Lyra's eyes were distant, lost in memories David could only imagine. She flicked her hand, and the image shifted to display various technological advances, engines powered by dark matter, gravity manipulation devices, and more. "These are some of the technologies I can share. They could revolutionize your energy sectors, medical fields, even your understanding of the universe." David, initially overwhelmed, felt a surge of excitement. How do these work? Can humans even use them? Lyra smiled, her confidence reassuring. "With some adaptation, yes, I can assist with that. I'm also trained in these technologies. I was a scientist on Exion." Their discussion deepened, with David taking notes frenetically. They moved from the console to a small lab area where Lyra demonstrated a device that could heal small cuts instantly with a flash of light. As the night waned, David realized the potential that this partnership held. Not only could Lyra's knowledge benefit him personally, but it could also help humanity as a whole. However, the gravity of keeping her presence a secret weighed on him. The revelation of an alien living on Earth could cause panic or lead to governmental intervention. "Lyra, we need to be careful about how we proceed. If the wrong people find out about this—" "I understand," Lyra interjected. "Secrecy is essential. I've seen what fear can do to civilizations. I trust your judgment on how best to navigate your world's complexities." They agreed to start with small, manageable projects. David knew a few trusted friends in the scientific community who might assist without asking too many questions. As dawn approached, Lyra returned to her pod to rest, and David left for his home, his mind racing with plans and possibilities. The initial awe had settled into a determined resolve. David was no longer just a stargazer. He was a bridge between worlds, a keeper of groundbreaking secrets. He understood the risks involved, but was driven by the promise of what this new alliance could bring. As he walked back, the first light of morning painted the sky in hues of pink and orange, a new day marked by the birth of hope and the formidable challenges that lay ahead. As weeks turned into months, David and Lyra's collaboration yielded its first fruits. In the seclusion of his garage, converted into a makeshift lab, they had adapted an Exionian energy converter to function with Earth's materials. This device, capable of generating clean energy from minimal organic inputs, was their initial step towards a broader application of alien technology. During one of their testing sessions, a sudden power surge from the converter illuminated the entire neighborhood, causing a brief local blackout. Panic set in for David, fearing the exposure of their secret. "We need to be more cautious," he muttered as he checked the converter's settings. "Any more incidents like this, and we'll have unwanted attention." Lyra nodded, her expression somber. "Perhaps it's time to consider a more isolated location for our experiments. Somewhere away from prying eyes." David agreed, and they began the search for a remote location. An old abandoned farm owned by David's late uncle proved ideal. Overgrown and forgotten, it provided the perfect cover. As they moved their equipment into the barn, Lyra shared more about her world, stories filled with insights into Exionian culture and philosophy. David absorbed every detail, fascinated by the societal norms and the technological advancements of her people. This deep dive into her world only strengthened the bond between them, transforming their partnership into a profound friendship. One evening, as they were setting up a gravity manipulation device, David asked, "Lyra, have you ever considered what you'll do if you can't go back? If your world—" Lyra paused, her hands still. "I try not to think about it. This, Earth, our work, it has become my new purpose. If I can make a difference here, then perhaps my being stranded will have been worth it." Their conversation was interrupted by the whir of machinery as they powered up the device. The barn filled with an ethereal glow, and objects within a small radius began to levitate, swirling in a controlled dance of defiance against gravity. "Imagine the applications," Lyra said, a spark of excitement in her voice. "We could revolutionize transport, construction, healthcare." David watched in awe, visions of a future shaped by these technologies playing in his mind. But with each success, the risk of exposure grew. The very breakthroughs they were making could attract the eyes of those who might misuse or weaponize the technology. Determined to protect their inventions, David reached out to his trusted friend Sarah, a lawyer knowledgeable in patents and intellectual property. Meeting in secrecy, they discussed strategies to patent the technology subtly without revealing their alien origin. "We'll need to file these patents through various proxies and companies," Sarah advised. "Keep it scattered and untraceable. I'll help you set up the necessary barriers to keep the curious at bay." Grateful for her guidance, David felt a weight lift off his shoulders. With legal protections in place, they could focus on advancing their projects. Meanwhile, Lyra continued to adapt to life on Earth. She found solace in the beauty of the planet, often taking long walks through the woods surrounding the farm. Earth, with all its vibrant life and colors, was a stark contrast to the dying world she had left behind. As they progressed, each breakthrough in the barn under the quiet canopy of stars was a step toward a dream they both shared, a dream of merging two worlds, two sets of knowledge for the betterment of all. Despite the challenges, their resolve remained unbroken, driven by the potential of their united visions. The collaboration between David and Lyra thrived as they ventured deeper into the realms of alien technology and its integration with human science. Their next undertaking was perhaps their most ambitious: a compact, portable device capable of extracting water from the atmosphere. It was designed not only for arid regions on Earth, but could potentially support human colonies on other planets in the future. Lyra meticulously calibrated the device, her fingers deftly moving over the alien components that, to any human engineer, would seem like a puzzle with no solution. David observed, taking notes and occasionally handing her the tools she requested. The barn, once a dusty, forgotten place, now buzzed with the energy of innovation and promise. "Got it," Lyra finally announced, her face lighting up with a smile as the device hummed to life, pulling moisture from the air and converting it into clean, drinkable water. "Remarkable," David exclaimed, watching as droplets formed and fell into a glass container. "Lyra, you're revolutionizing the way we could live in extreme environments." As they prepared for more extensive testing, the challenge of keeping their operations hidden became increasingly complex. News of a breakthrough energy device had already started to stir whispers among the local tech communities, and David knew it was only a matter of time before someone would connect the dots back to him. The duo decided to form a covert company that could serve as a front for their inventions, channeling the technologies into the public domain in controlled measures. Using Sarah's legal expertise, they created a firm that was a maze of subsidiaries and holdings, effectively masking the true origin of the innovations. One late afternoon, while reviewing their business plans and blueprints, a sudden interruption shattered their routine. An unexpected visitor, a local government official named Tom Richards, knocked on the barn door, inquiring about the recent unusual power surges in the area. David, caught off guard but maintaining composure, introduced Tom to a decoy setup, a simple renewable energy experiment he claimed was for a local science fair. "Just trying to give back to the community," David explained with a practiced ease, showing Tom a harmless solar panel setup outside the barn. Tom appeared satisfied with the explanation, but as he left, his parting words sent a chill down David's spine. "Keep up the good work, David. We're all for innovation around here. Just make sure to keep things safe, all right?" After Tom's departure, Lyra and David exchanged a look of concern. "We need to be more careful," David said. "Our activities are starting to draw attention." Lyra nodded in agreement. "It may be wise to accelerate our plans for public integration. If we can introduce our tech in small, digestible pieces, it might reduce suspicion." They spent the next few weeks refining their approach, planning out the release of their water extraction technology as the first major public offering from their new company. They staged demonstrations in various dry regions, showing the device's efficacy in real-world conditions, which garnered positive attention and accolades from environmental groups. As their profile grew, so did their network. They quietly recruited a team of trusted individuals, scientists, and engineers who shared their vision for a better future. Each new member was vetted thoroughly to ensure they could handle the dual realities of their work, innovating for humanity's benefit while concealing an extraterrestrial partnership. This growing ensemble worked tirelessly, driven by the belief in their cause. Each success was a beacon of what human and alien cooperation could achieve, a testament to the unity of purpose despite the diversity of their origins. As the small company began to gain a foothold in various industrial sectors, the sophistication of the technologies they introduced steadily increased. The water extractor was followed by an advanced agricultural system that used minimal soil and water, dramatically increasing yield with a fraction of the environmental impact. This innovation came at a critical time, as Earth faced increasing food shortages due to climate change and population growth. In the controlled environment of their expanded lab, now occupying several buildings on the old farm, Lyra demonstrated the next leap in their technological saga, a bioenhancer that accelerated plant growth without genetic modification. The roots absorbed nutrients more efficiently, and the plants were remarkably resistant to pests and diseases. David, always keen to bridge their advancements with real-world applications, organized field trials in collaboration with several struggling farms. The results were nothing short of miraculous, revitalizing failing crops and bringing substantial profits and food security to the participating communities. However, the broader the impact of their technologies, the more scrutiny they attracted. Not just from local officials or the scientific community, but from global powers and secretive entities with agendas of their own. David found himself spending as much time managing their public relations and navigating bureaucratic red tape as he did in the lab. One evening, as they reviewed data from the latest field trials, Lyra expressed her concerns about their growing visibility. "David, our influence is becoming vast, and with it comes risk, not just to our operation but to Earth itself. My presence here, if discovered, could lead to conflict or fear among your people." David looked at her, understanding the gravity of her words. "Maybe it's time we consider another layer of security. Perhaps introducing some of our tech to global defense mechanisms discreetly might give us a buffer against any potential threats." Lyra agreed, though with hesitation, knowing that her technology could also be used for harm if placed in the wrong hands. Together, they decided to initiate a secret project codenamed Aegis. This project was designed to enhance Earth's satellite systems with advanced detection capabilities that could identify and neutralize threats from space, be it asteroids or other, less friendly alien encounters. While Lyra worked on the technical aspects of Aegis, David reached out to his contacts within various international space agencies under the guise of enhancing global communications networks. Their proposal was met with enthusiasm, as the benefits of such a system were undeniable to the safety and advancement of global technology. Amid these developments, the duo also faced personal challenges. The long hours and constant pressure began to take a toll on their health and personal lives. Lyra, being far from her home and any other of her kind, often felt isolated, despite her close relationship with David. She found solace in Earth's natural beauty, spending hours in the woodlands around the farm, which reminded her of her own planet's once vibrant ecosystems. David, realizing the personal cost they were both paying, arranged for more leisure time, integrating short breaks into their schedule. During these times, they would share stories of their respective worlds, finding comfort in their shared mission and deepening friendship. Their bond, forged in the fires of innovation and secrecy, became the unspoken strength behind their endeavors. They were no longer just partners in science, but confidants who had ventured far beyond what either had imagined when they first met under the stars that fateful night. As the Aegis project moved from conceptual frameworks to tangible prototypes, David and Lyra's secret endeavors began to reshape global defense technologies, albeit under a veil of strict confidentiality. The new systems, integrated quietly into Earth's satellite networks, provided a level of security that was unprecedented, capable of detecting and responding to extraterrestrial threats autonomously. Simultaneously, their company launched another groundbreaking technology, an energy storage system that used quantum batteries, providing clean, nearly infinite energy. This technology was set to revolutionize how the world consumed power, making energy shortages a thing of the past. As nations began to adopt these batteries, Lyra's contributions to Earth became subtly woven into the fabric of human advancement. However, the duo's success did not come without its challenges. Increased scrutiny from international regulatory bodies meant David had to navigate a labyrinth of legal and ethical considerations. They had to ensure that each technological release was strategically planned to avoid overwhelming the public or sparking fear of alien influence. Amid these developments, Lyra received startling news from her home galaxy. An exploratory mission had been launched by her people in search of survivors from Exion. The possibility of reuniting with her own kind brought a mix of joy and apprehension. She cherished her life on Earth with David, yet the pull of her origins was undeniable. Together, they prepared for the potential arrival of other Exionians, setting the groundwork for an interstellar exchange that could benefit both worlds. They expanded their research facilities, now dubbed the Earth-Exion Collaborative Hub, envisioning it as a future meeting point for human and alien scientists. As Lyra's people arrived, Earth faced a new era of galactic relations. The initial meetings were tense, fraught with the fears and expectations of both sides, but David and Lyra's preparatory work helped foster a dialogue based on mutual benefit and respect. The Earth-Exion alliance flourished, catalyzing an age of prosperity fueled by shared knowledge and technology. David, looking back on the journey he had embarked upon with Lyra, felt a profound sense of accomplishment and awe. From the first fearful encounter to standing at the forefront of a new chapter in human history, he marveled at how far they had come. Their partnership had not only bridged two vastly different cultures, but had also created a legacy of cooperation that would continue to evolve for generations. As they stood together watching the stars from which Lyra had once come, they knew that this was just the beginning of a broader, more inclusive future where the sky was not a limit but a vast expanse of possibilities.